My dear friends, welcome to Rajshekhar classes on applied data science with Python. This is lecture number 230. In this lecture, we will try to understand solution to optimization problem. If you recall, in lecture number 228, I discussed about variance maximization, variance maximization approach or variance maximization interpretation of a principal component analysis. This is about lecture number 228. In lecture number 229, I discussed about distance minimization. Distance minimization. Now we will try to find solution to these formulations. Let's understand what is the solution. We will try to understand solution to these formulations, to these mathematical interpretations. What is the solution? We will discuss solution, how to arrive or how to reach solution, how to reach this solution we will discuss in my future lectures. What you have to find in these two approaches? We have to find u1, isn't it? Just try to recall what you have to find, whether it is variance maximization approach or distance minimization approach. We have to find u1. In this lecture we will try to understand what is u1, how can I find u1, and how to arrive this one, what is the methodology, that I will discuss in my future classes. So let's assume X is my data matrix. Let me say this X is my data matrix with n points, 1, 2, 3, so on. Let me say there are n points, and as usual there are D features, F1, F2, so on. Let me say FD. How many rows are there? There are n rows. And how many columns are there? There are D columns. This is, I can say, n by D matrix, n cross D matrix, isn't it? Let's just assume that X means my data matrix. Let's assume X has been column standardized. X has been column standardized. We already discussed what is column standardized. It means the mean of each column, mean of each feature, mean of each dimension, mean of each feature or mean of each column is equal to 0. And variance of each column, instead of saying F1, mean of each column equal 0, and standard deviation of each column or each dimension or each feature is equal to 1. That's what it says. That is column standardization. Where we discuss this column standardization, I request you to refer lecture number 226 and lecture number 227. In 226, I discussed what is column standardization. In 227, I discussed geometrical interpretation of column standardization. Here, X itself, column standardized. How will it be? Just let me write like this. Let me show like this. Yes, just see, this is my X. This is my data matrix. How many data points I have? 1, 2, 3, so on n. How many features I have? D features, that is n by n cross D matrix or n by D matrix. This data set is column standardized. What is column standardization? Means each feature or each column, mean of F1, mean of F2, so on, mean of Fd equal 0. Each column, each feature, each dimension mean must be 0. Each feature, each dimension, each column variance or standard deviation equal to 1. Once if it is column standardization, this will follow. This is the definition of column standardization I already discussed in my previous lectures. Now let's create, let me say otherwise like this, let's create, yes, I can write covariance matrix of X. The covariance matrix of X, let's assume my capital S is the covariance matrix. How can I write covariance matrix? S equal to X transpose X. What is this X? X is data matrix. It's a data matrix. What is the order of X? X order is, just say, data matrix X order is n cross D. X transpose means rows and columns must be interchanged. Therefore, that is D cross n. If I multiply D cross n matrix with n cross D matrix, what will I get? I will get a matrix of order D cross D. Therefore, I can say here covariance matrix order is D cross D. At the end of the day, what you need, what we have to find? We have to find U1. That's what we need. How to find U1? We will try to understand. It is simple. Once if we have covariance matrix, just say, that's what I am saying here. Just say, let's create covariance matrix of X. Just now I explained covariance matrix is X transpose X. T means transpose of X. X is my original data matrix. Just now we explained this is n cross D, this is D cross, and if I multiply, I will get D-dimensional square matrix, isn't it? Now, what I need eigenvalues and eigenvectors. You might have learned how to calculate eigenvalues and eigenvectors in your primary classes. Just time being, anyway, I will discuss how one can calculate eigenvalues and eigenvectors in my future classes. Just assume my eigenvalue is represented by lambdas. Let me say there are D by D matrix. If you find eigenvalues, how many eigenvalues will you get? Lambda 1, lambda 2, so on. You will get lambda D. You will get D, as it is D-dimensional matrix, you will get D eigenvalues, and correspondingly you will get V1, V2, so on, Vd. You will get D eigenvectors. These lambdas are known as eigenvalues. These V's are known as eigenvectors. How to calculate these eigenvalues and eigenvectors I will discuss. Just time being, understand. Here you have eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2, so on, lambda D. What are the corresponding eigenvectors? V1 is corresponding eigenvector of V1 is an eigenvector of lambda corresponding to lambda 1 of matrix S. In similar manner, V2 is eigenvector corresponding to eigenvalue lambda 2 of matrix X, of matrix S, covariance matrix. In similar manner, Vd is eigenvector corresponding to eigenvalue lambda D of matrix capital S. I can say like this, isn't it? Now, let me assume, how can I calculate eigenvalues and eigenvector? In Python, it is very simple. There is a function in SciPy library. Even there is a function in NumPy library. In NumPy and SciPy, there is a function known as EIG. This EIG is a function which is useful to calculate eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Anyway, I will discuss in future classes. Time being, just let me say, I have got D eigenvalues. Let me arrange all these eigenvalues like this. lambda 1 is greater than or equal to lambda 2 is greater than or equal to lambda 3 is greater than or equal to, so on is greater than or equal to lambda d. What does it mean? Which means lambda 1 is maximal eigenvalue, is maximal eigenvalue, or maximum, or I can say it is maximum eigenvalue in all these t eigenvalues, isn't it? Now we will try to understand, we will try to define what is eigenvalue, what is eigenvector. Just see, let me say, in mathematics, in your mathematics textbooks, you might have seen like this: ax equal to lambda x. What does it mean? This x is known as this x is eigenvector. Eigenvector must be a non-zero vector. Eigenvector must be a non-zero vector. Lambda must be an eigenvalue. A is known as matrix. What does it mean? This lambda is eigenvalue of matrix A. X is eigenvalue of matrix A corresponding to eigenvalue lambda. Therefore, just see here, what is this? This is my matrix. This is my covariance matrix. I am calculating eigenvalues and eigenvectors for covariance matrices. What is this V1? This is eigenvector. You must always remember, eigenvector must be a non-zero vector. What is this lambda? What is this lambda 1? This is something like Ax equal to lambda x, isn't it? What is my x? In Ax equal to lambda x. In the place of x you have V1. Therefore, V1 is an eigenvector, lambda 1 is an eigenvalue, S is matrix, covariance matrix. This lambda 1 is basically a number, it's a scalar, and your V1 is a column vector. And if your S is D cross D matrix, if you multiply D cross D matrix with a vector D cross 1, what will you get? You will get D cross 1, isn't it? That's what it says. Here, what is this lambda 1? Lambda 1 is eigenvalue of S, and V1 is eigenvector of S. This is simple definition. As I told you, you can arrange all these eigenvalues. Lambda 1 is greater than or equal to lambda 2 is greater than or equal to lambda 3, so on. It is greater than or equal to lambda d. D eigenvalues of matrix of size. These are D eigenvalues of matrix size. S is D cross D, isn't it? D eigenvalues of matrix of size D cross D. Correspondingly, you will get how many eigenvectors you will get? Just see, V1, V2, so on, Vd. You have got D eigenvectors corresponding to D eigenvalues. One nice property of eigenvectors is, if you take any two vectors of this covariance matrix, if you take any two vectors of this covariance matrix, let me say there is an eigenvector Vi and eigenvector Vj. Take any two eigenvectors, they are perpendicular to each other. They are perpendicular to each other means what? Their dot product Vi dot Vj is 0. This dot product can also written as Vi transpose Vj is equal to 0. That's what it says. Take any two eigenvectors of this particular covariance matrix, they are perpendicular to each other. Why? Because what is dot product? You will get dot product cos 90. If they are perpendicular means cos 90 you will get. What is cos 90? Cos 90 is 0. Because cos 90 is 0, they are perpendicular. This property is one of the important property. We will try to understand this property in detailed manner in next few classes. How it is useful we will see. Now just see, this is very important property. Dot product of any two eigenvectors is 0. Both eigenvectors, take any two eigenvectors, they are perpendicular to each other. By solving the optimization problem, you will get V1. It is an eigenvector of S. It is eigenvector of S corresponding to lambda 1, which is corresponding to highest eigenvalue. This point is very, very, very important. You must understand this. V1 is an eigenvector of S which corresponds to highest eigenvalue. Which one is highest eigenvalue? As I told you, we arranged this one like this: lambda 1 greater than or equal to lambda 2 is greater than or equal to lambda n, means which one is highest eigenvalue? Lambda 1, whose corresponding eigenvector is V1. Therefore, V1 is eigenvector of covariance matrix S corresponding to highest eigenvalue lambda 1. It means highest value of lambda represents, I already discussed, highest, this is one more important property, highest value of lambda represents maximal variance, maximal spread, I can say. Maximal spread, it will explain. Highest value of lambda represent maximal variance direction. Therefore, what is my U1? What you have to find in this optimization problem in lecture number 2, in optimization problem, what you have to find? You have to find U1. What is U1? U1 is essentially V1. What is V1? V1 is an eigenvector corresponding to largest eigenvalue. This is very, very, very important. In the beginning itself, we were saying that we have to find U1. What is U1? U1 is V1. V1 is eigenvector corresponding to largest eigenvalue. You can repeat like this. First, what you have to do, step number 1, assume your matrix capital X must be column standardized. We already know what is column standardized, isn't it? Column standardized. That is first point. Second point, you have to calculate covariance matrix. How can I calculate? X transpose X. Next one, what you have to calculate? You have to calculate eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Eigenvalues and eigenvectors, you can calculate. There is a function, EIG function, that I discussed. In future classes, we will try to calculate. Now you have got eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Arrange eigenvalues like this: lambda 1 greater than lambda 2 greater than so on lambda d. Now identify an eigenvector corresponding to lambda 1. This V1 is essentially U1. Therefore, U1 equal to V1. This V1 is an eigenvector corresponding to largest eigenvalue. What you have to find in optimization problems? You have to find U1. That is essentially V1. I will discuss about geometrical interpretation of eigenvalues and eigenvectors in my next lecture. That is in lecture number 231. Thank you very much.